Today, we're going to be speaking with Dr. Raj Ailani, a pulmonologist. Dr. Ailani completed a fellowship in pulmonology and critical care medicine at Henry Ford Hospital. He has received numerous awards for his essays concerning pulmonary diseases. Dr. Ailani also analyzes sleep studies at Port Huron Therapy Center and is currently the head of the Department of Cardiopulmonary and Pulmonary Rehabilitation at Birdfish Medical Center. So, Dr. Ailani, thank you so much for speaking with me today. Let's get started with our first question. When and how did you decide that you wanted to go into medicine and then pulmonology and critical care specifically?
Well, it was a decision that for the time I grew up in India, the decisions had to be taken way early in time. So I had finished high school and finishing high school, that time the career choices were few, medicine being a key career choice. And I was doing well in school, and my parents thought it was right that I go to med school. And you see doctors in your area, you like the idea. And that's how I got decided that, okay, if I get the marks, if I qualify, I'll take it and we'll go from there.
And then how did you decide your specialization?
Well, specialization is something that takes time. Initially, when you do anatomy, physiology, you decide a physiology. When I was in physiology classes, pulmonary made the most sense because it's all numbers, and I'm a number person. So it's all it's not just pure medicine. Medicine is not always linear. Medicine doesn't mean 1 + 1 is always 2. Medicine can be 1 + 1 can be 4, depending on the day, or can be 5. Medicine is very it's not an exact science, but pulmonary medicine compared to all the other specialties was more of an exact science. So it's very logical. Two is more than one, and that makes sense. So I liked pulmonology when I was in physiology classes, and as the time came on after finishing med school, there was a choice to go into pulmonary residency. That's what I did in India before I came to US.
So, after you decided specialization and so far in your career, how strict is your work schedule?
It's a very strict schedule. I mean, we take care of patients in the hospital. So every single day of the year, somebody has to see these patients. So that's 365 days a year. Somebody has to see these patients. Now, I'm fortunate that I have a couple of partners. So one among the three of us is always working, has to, every single day of the year. So whether it's Christmas, New Year, doesn't matter. So it's a strict schedule. Now that's in the hospital. Now office, we have a lot of leeway. Office is, if you don't feel like it, you don't have to keep the office open. That's more discretionary. The hospital is very strict.
Okay. Are you able to take time off if necessary from the hospital?
Meaning with the idea that my partner is the one, then between the three of us, somebody has to work. Hospital is a 24/7, 365 days of your job. So yes, I'm able to take off, provided my other two partners are willing to take the slack. If I have to be gone, let's say 3 weeks, they got to manage it for 3 weeks. And then I can come back and then they can go off.
Makes sense. So far in your career, what are some interesting things about your job?
Well, the job is definitely one of the most interesting jobs you can ever find. That's true. We have every single day you start your day, you don't know what's going to come your way, and uh, so the different parts of what we do. The hospital job is, again, you see, like just yesterday, I had a 45-year-old lady dying of COVID, and she's on 100% oxygen, and I had to step in and save her life. So that's very interesting, unpredictable, exciting. You can make a difference. So there's so many good things about it. But then that I'll go on to the next part. That's also the hardest part of the job, that you got to be present. And a mistake. I almost lost this lady yesterday. She almost died. She was on, like, she had oxygen numbers were like down to 30% for like at least 10 minutes before we got her up. She could have died, and that would be hard. So That's was challenging, but at the same time keeps it interesting. But then it can be hard if you don't perform to the level you're expected to perform.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, what are some things that you wish you knew before you entered these two fields?
Well, one thing is, as a kid in school, I remember I used to look at my father and I used to wonder how he works through the summer vacation. I was like, I need my 2 months off in summer. Well, I did not realize that forget about summer vacation, I'm working weekends too. So I'm working a lot of hours. So medicine is not a field that you can do 20 hours a week job. It's not a 30 hours a week job. It's not even a 40 hours a week job. Either you're going to do 60 hours or you're going to be doing nothing. So
Mm,
it's not a, yeah, it's at least a 450 hours. That's the minimum commitment needed
mm,
um, for you to be a good physician and a productive physician. You got to put in 50 hours at the least.
mhm,
So if you try to do it as a part-time, like a 25-hour job, then it doesn't work. Doesn't give you what you are wanting from it.
mhm,
So I wish I knew that, and not that it would have changed my decision. I would have probably still gone into it. But it's nice to know that this is a 1.25 job. This is
mm,
not, and it could be a 2-person job. It could be 80 hours. I have had times in my life I worked 80 hours a week. At this point, I'm about 50, 55 hours situation. So, so one is it's a very the first thing I to answer your question is it's a lot of hours. That's number one. Number two is that the unpredictability of it also is something that it's not like you just you're building a bridge or you're building a building, you're putting a brick, building is formed. It's not like that in medicine. Medicine is very non-linear. Sometimes you can have, so everybody comes and says, oh, you are a great doctor, and next you'll have a next everybody will be like, you're horrible. And you kind of, it's, you don't know. It's like being on stage every single day. So you don't know how the audience is going to receive you that particular day.
mhm,
So that's the unpredictability of it. So I think those two things would have been good to know before, but not that it will change my decision. I'm just sharing that.
mhm. Yeah, that makes sense. So, what goals did you have when you decided to pursue both pulmonology and critical care, and have you achieved them?
Yeah, my goal was after finishing med school, I realized that I wanted to be in a specialty where I can make a difference. And the key thing for me was to take care of people who are sick, who are critically ill. Nobody else can take care of them. That was a goal I set for myself. And I think I achieved that. Now, that's a ever changing goal, though. What you could take care of 2 years ago now with COVID, we have found out there's so many things I cannot do that I wish I do. And I'm working on it constantly. We are trying to do new things. We are trying to incorporate newer tests into our daily life. Like years ago, I used to put central line, whereby I put a line in the neck here, big vein, and I go for that. And when I learned in the 90s, I learned it just do blind, just look at the muscle and you just go in there.
Mhm,
Now, after 25 years, 30 years of doing that, I do it with ultrasound. So now I use ultrasound. I can see the vein. I can, it's more, I have more better control. But then it requires that I constantly upkeep my skills and improve my skills as time goes by.
mhm,
Um, so that has been, so yeah, I'm able to achieve my goals, but the goals keep on changing. So I have to keep on upgrading my skills to keep up with that.
mhm,
Um, Certain skills are what I have not been able to achieve is something that again it has got to do more with I wish I could do echocardiograms of the heart because heart and lungs are together, and I again that will require me to go back to few days of classes and stuff like that. Can be done, but sometimes you don't get the time or the proper guidance to do what you want to do. So
mhm.
certain things I still wish I can do better, but that's going to be constantly the case in life.
Right. So far, did everything go as planned, or did you make some changes in your choices?
Things don't go as per plan always. No, things always change. So, in fact, when I started out, when I finished my training, I had not trained for sleep medicine. A few years later, I got the opportunity to do that. I added that on. So, and now sleep makes up almost 30 to 40% of my work. Can you imagine? I had not even planned to do that. It
Mhm.
just came along the way and I got the opportunity. But things don't always go as planned. You decide a big specialty, you stick with that, then you add or subtract things based on what happens in life. Um, I was doing a lot of critical care in the earlier days. Now I do less critical care. It takes up a lot of time, and and there are people who do that more than me. So let them do that. I am more focused on pulmonary and sleep. Um, things don't go, but you have to be ready. If the opportunity comes along, you step in. If opportunity goes away, you step back. Just you have to go with the flow in life.
Mhm. So, looking back, what could you have done differently on your journey?
Well, when there were a few things for me. I started from India. I came to US. I spent more years in India than I should have. Maybe few or 2 or 3 more extra years that I could have um, not done. I could have moved here sooner to your goal. You don't want to waste time in life. So let's say you want to get from point A to point C or point D. You want to get there quick.
Mhm.
And everybody's going to get there eventually. Okay. The person who's going to do well is the one who got there first. So you got to move on and be ready for changes in life. So if let's say when I was in Michigan, I decided to come to Florida. I came down in 2004. I wish I came down in 2002. I would have been ahead in life, or if I decide. So there are certain things timing wise you can say you can do, and when you get a chance, you move on and make the
Right.
change. And so every step of my life, I can say that I wish I did a year or two earlier. But other than that, I no regrets. Not a whole lot different could have been done at
Okay,
my time.
that's good. Considering the constant changes in the medical field, what are three pieces of advice you would give to students considering a career in medicine or specializing in your fields?
So number one is got to know what is medicine about. Medicine is not about splitting the atom. It's not coming up with the newest cures, or it's not that medicine, the way it's practiced when you see doctors around in your communities, 90% of it is delivery of care.
Mhm.
So I read something and I practice it. Okay. I don't have to be super smart, super intelligent. I just have to be able to follow what's written. You read the book, you follow it. Very simple. It's like these days with COVID. It's very simple. You got to give the COVID shot. You got to do it. You got to do it every day. Medicine is repetitive. You got to do the same thing every day. So I get a young woman into my office, let's say, and she's coming to me as a primary doctor. I have to check her mammogram. If I have an older man, we have to get a colonoscopy done. But those are the same. You can check cholesterol people. You do same thing every single day, the
Mhm.
same way. So, and sometimes you think, I've done this, like I checked for colon cancers in 100 patients and all are negative. Why bother with the next one? But that will be the one you'll miss.
Mhm.
So you don't want to take shortcuts. You want to be in medicine is all about reading something, following it to the hilt, not trying to improve on it, not trying to adjust or take shortcuts. No, it's a tedious branch, but you follow it. If you follow it right, you'll be rewarded.
Mhm.
That's number one. Be consistent and every day do the same thing. Second thing is the hours. You mentioned that be ready for it's this is not a 30-hour job. This is a 50 hours or more job. So that's the second part. I would say be ready for that. The third is be ready for the unpredictability of life. You'll see people do well when you don't expect them. You'll see people and opportunities or things changing, corporations taking over. The world is changing constantly, and medicine is changing constantly too. So
Mhm.
be ready for that.
Right.
The three things.
Aside from medicine, have you been able to venture out into other career fields as well, such as business?
Yes, and medicine is one place that will definitely give you the choice to do that. You can,
Mhm.
other than being a doctor, you have opportunity to add on more things in life. Most doctors I know, including myself, have a lot of real estate investments. Most
Mhm.
doctors are into stock markets. I have also ventured into. I own two assisted living buildings that I take care of. Older people live in our buildings, and I've been able to diversify into that. So there are a lot of other than this, and I don't think my CV indicated that, and I may not have updated it. I have also got an MBA done. I did an MBA from
Oh
University
wow.
of Massachusetts. Yeah, so I did that in 2014, 15 time. From 9 to 15, I pursued that online. So I was able to. So you can add an MBA to your degree, and then you can run a separate institution like I run the assist. I think I, I think I lost you. I think uh
You're still there.
is it there? Sorry, the screen is gone down there. One second. Yeah, I can see now. Yeah, so able to yes, I've been able to do it, and it's easy because in medicine most of the times you are the boss for what you do. So it's when you're working as a engineer, let's say in a company, you're working under the company, but here you are your own boss, so you have chances to diversify into other things, which I have been able to do.
Yeah. So that was the last question. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. I hope that your guidance helps a lot of people like myself make a lot of future career decisions. And yeah,
Thank you. Sure.
thank
My
you.
my pleasure. Absolutely. Good luck.